Electric and hybrid vehicle engineering, design and optimization of drivetrain. In this lesson, we will study of how we'll choose the perfect drivetrain for ourselves or for any conditions like for off-roading, for commercial use or for racing purpose. As we have discussed before, there are four types of drivetrain: front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, four wheel drive and all wheel drive. Previously we have discussed about various drivelines and their functioning. Now let us come to the part where we will see how to select the perfect type of driveline according to our requirements. Here we will study about selection of drivetrain with the help of vehicles on which different drivelines are implemented. First, we will have a look on front wheel drive vehicles. Here, as you can see in this picture, here is an example of Mercedes-Benz A-Class. Unlike its previous model, the latest generation of Mercedes cars are truly compact. It can be said it is compact due to front wheel drive also. This A-Class sedan have technology from bigger and more expensive cars, including the latest MBUX infotainment system, which is the latest version present in this car. It also features Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as a voice assistant. Therefore, that is the additional benefit of this car that comes with it. If we look at its driveline, it's a front wheel drive vehicle, and as we have studied earlier in this, we have the engine and the transmission located directly above the front wheels, which provide better traction when climbing hills or driving on slippery roads. Therefore, in this car we have all the equipment at the front, which creates more space and legroom in the back, making it quite spacious and comfortable at the same time. It is also accompanied by less components than any other drivetrain setup, which makes the vehicle lighter and therefore improve its gasoline mileage, which helps in saving money. And that is the main reason why you see most economy type cars are front wheel drive. Adding to this, there is greater tactical feedback through the steering wheel, that is, if the wheels are slipping. Therefore, it lets you know to drive with comfort and even helps in cornering. And it is also considered as one of the very simpler system, which tends to be less expensive to buy and maintain in terms of cost and fuel. If we look at the main advantage of front wheel drive in comparison with rear wheel drive, it has the improved traction, which results due to their weight distribution, because as in this front wheel drive, the weight of the engine above the front tires allows their tires to grip the road more efficiently and effectively. Therefore, this extra traction makes the front wheel drive useful when it snows or when you need to travel to poorly constructed roads like in villages. Therefore, we can conclude at last that it is one of the best type of driveline for commercial use by an individual, because it is accompanied by less cost and have a lighter weight in comparison to other drivelines. And adding to this, if most of your driving is in dry or rainy condition, then this front wheel drive system is all you need, because you see it is also equipped with anti-lock braking system and traction control, which makes them perfectly suitable for light snow condition as well as. Therefore, Chevrolet Volt and Toyota Prius are the other examples of front wheel drive electric vehicles. Now, let us have a look at rear wheel drive with the example of 2019 BMW 7 Series. You can see the model in this picture. It is considered as a luxury car with a very good rating because of its lavish cabin, outstanding ride comfort, handling, and robust engine lineup. It has also additional features like active safety systems and advanced interference that allows you to use gestures to change the volume and answer phone calls. Therefore, that is the additional benefit of this car. If we look at its driveline, it is a rear wheel drive vehicle, and as we have studied earlier, we have rear wheel drive layout where the engine is located at the front of the vehicle and the driven wheels are located at the rear part. Now let us see why we choose rear wheel drive. See, if we have a look at its working under dry condition, during this our rear wheel drives improves handling due to load transfer, especially in the case of acceleration, and it is also having even weight distribution because of the fact we are having our engine at front and our transmission power transfer components at rear. And adding to this, rear wheel drive tends to have less costly maintenance since there aren't as many parts packed into small spaces like in front wheel drive, because you see in front wheel drive we are having our whole engine, motor, transmission assembly at front only. It is not evenly distributed like in the case of rear wheel drive, and therefore also front wheel drive has higher repairs and maintenance cost since they have to remove more parts for workable access, because it is so compact that you have to open whole assembly while maintaining, but it is not the same case in the rear wheel because every part is distributed over the whole assembly. Adding to this, you also won't experience torque steer here because that is the tendency that front wheel drive vehicles have to, that is to adjust to the right or left during acceleration. And also steering is much easier since the back wheels are providing the power while the front wheels do the working of steering in rear wheel drive. Therefore, we can conclude that rear wheel cars have a classical feel that many professional racers and luxury car owners find essential. If you talk about why it is liked by racers, it is because it allows you to drift your car, which is easily possible in the case of rear wheel drive. That is why most of the racing cars are rear wheel drive operated. Therefore, Mini Cooper Model S and Tesla Model 3 are some of the examples of rear wheel drive electric vehicle. Now we will have a look on selection for four wheel drive. We will have a look at four wheel drive with the example of Toyota Fortuner. You may have heard the name of this vehicle because it is very popular in our country. The Toyota Fortuner 4x4 variant, that is 4 wheel drive, comes with a full wheel drive system with a manual shift low ratio gearbox for extreme terrain that is generally governed by the transfer case that we have discussed in our previous lecture. It allows to shift the low ratio or high ratio to the front axle or the rear axle. It is powered by a 3-liter diesel engine that puts on around 340 Newton meter of torque and 160 horsepower. And if we have a look at its feature, it has high ground clearance, solid build quality, which makes it an ideal off-roader. And it is also a good option if you are planning to use the car for off-roading very rarely, as it is also good for your highway traveling as well, because it gives you a good or pretty much mileage. Therefore, that is the additional benefit of this car. But if you look at its driveline, it's a 4-wheel drive vehicle, and as we have studied earlier, in this the power from the engine is delivered to all the 4 wheels all of the time. That means all of our 4 wheels are engaged, and it is having an option to operate in rear wheel drive also. That is for the purpose to conserve the fuel. If we see the main benefit of this type of driveline, or in the case of Fortuner, it is traction and power. You might have seen the commercial where the car is climbing over the boulders or big rocks. That is or can only be done with the help of 4-wheel drive. You can't see this with the help of 2-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive vehicle. And if you are climbing a steep hill or are off-roading, you certainly will want to increase the power in order to get over this obstacle and climb over those hills. While if you look at in this 2-wheel drive, it will always show some resistance, and because you are off-roading, you will probably want the extra power that comes with this type of driveline. And adding to this, 4-wheel drive improves traction in dangerous driving conditions such as in snow, ice, rocks and other scenarios that can make steering control very difficult. Therefore, by engaging both sets of wheel traction, our control is improved enhancedly, and therefore additional weight contributes to better grip on the road, providing you better traction. Therefore, we can say that 4-wheel drive is great for those who like off-roading and might be the better choice for those who live in remote areas and need to work in extreme weather condition or enjoy off-roading adventuring quite often. This system often comes in trucks and SUVs that you must have been seen till now, because it comes with high ground clearance like here in Fortuner, making them well suited to managing deep snow, rocky terrain and steep grades, as well as carrying heavy loads. Therefore, Tesla Model X is one of the good example of 4-wheel drive electric model. Now coming over to all-wheel drive, we will have a look at its driveline with the example of Ford Fusion. This car offers you one of the best designs, as you can see here in this picture, and also functional space in the car that's just the right size for a comfortable travel for a family vehicle. This car is a mid-sized sedan with modern technology for additional comfort, and as for all-wheel drive, it only comes with a standard V6 sports model. It also has different models, but all of them are four-wheel drive. Therefore, that is the additional benefit of this car. But if we look at its driveline, it is a all-wheel drive vehicle, and as we have studied earlier, in all-wheel drive systems, it comprises of both full-time and part-time, which is generally operated with no input from the driver, which is quite opposite that in the case of four-wheel, where we have to do all the function manually. Although some offer selectable modes that allows a degree of control over how much power goes where. But here in this case, all the wheels get torqued through a series of differential, viscous couplings, or you can say multiple clutches, which help distribute this power to the wheels so that the car's traction is optimized quite exponentially. And the best thing about all-wheel drive is that the driver doesn't have to make any decisions about engaging the system. Either all the wheels are being driven full-time, or the system itself is designed to sense loss of traction and send some of the power where it is being needed. Therefore, we can say that all-wheel drive is available on a wide variety of vehicles, from compact sedans to performance models to all size of SUVs also. Therefore, if we look at the traction probability or traction distribution, we can say like in the rear wheels engages when sensor detects slippage from the front wheels, meaning that it only engages when there is a need. Therefore, it is saving fuel here. And under these circumstances, the vehicle effectively detects and compensates for dangerous driving conditions such as standing water, snow, ice, or gravel that could otherwise compromise the control of your vehicle and prevents you from accidents. Now, coming over to fuel efficiency, this is the primary disadvantage of this type of driveline, because it is quite costly than all the type of driveline, because it is loaded with lot of technology, as it is providing both continuous and intermittent and expensive sensors to control or improve the driving experience. Now, coming over to braking distance and collision avoidance, while the weight of all-wheel drive vehicle improves their handling, it also increases the distance they require to stop, which is a setback for this type of driveline, because in a scenario where the vehicle must make a sudden stop and cannot turn, a collision becomes more likely than with a lighter car. Therefore, we can conclude that it is not much used as four-wheel drive, because both have almost same functioning, but it is gaining popularity due to implementation of pricey technology for the purpose of improving the driving performance. Therefore, Tesla Model S P90 model, which is the latest model by Tesla, is one of the example of all-wheel drive electric vehicle. Therefore, now we have studied all about driveline, their working, their selection procedure. Therefore, we can say that we have learned all about the drivelines. So that is all for today. Thanks for watching.